I worry that I wasted the best of me on you. You don't care. Hey queens, welcome back to another video. Today I have my regular client. She's coming in. She's getting a traditional sew-in. My last traditional sew-in that I posted, a lot of you guys asked for a more detailed video on how to properly sew in hair. So this is what I'm doing. I'm first giving you guys a quick look at foundation and how I braid for my traditional sew-ins. This is just me going in and doing her perimeter braids. I always add hair to her perimeter braids, even if it's long or short, no matter, because it kind of just helps the longevity of the perimeter braid for, you know, a long-lasting hold. This is me beginning her actual foundation because her hair is more long. I do not add braiding hair in this part. And this is me just braiding it down, pulling the end piece up, and adding that onto the braid. Now, another method you guys can do is braiding it all the way to the back instead of doing like the sides. I like that a little better because I feel like it creates less bulk. But either way, it can give you a really, really flat foundation.
I bet if I give all my love, then nothing's gonna tear us apart.
After foundation, of course, we had to put the weaving net on, and that is what you see sewed around her perimeter. You can get your weaving net from the beauty supply or any hair store, and this is what it looks like. Now down to the get down, sewing in your weave to your client's head. I start by putting my needle through the track, pulling it till the knot hits the track. Start to put the needle through the braid. Now when you put the needle through the braid, you're going to pull it tight and you're going to stick the needle through the loop by the knot. I'm going to zoom in so you can actually see what I'm saying. You see how I put it through the loop where the knot is, and I'm going to pull, and that's going to be our first knot. And then I'm going to do this again, but I'm going to knot the second time I put the needle through the hair. And you knot by doing 3 loops. And then you pull, and you have your first knot. You can see I pulled the track tight along the nape of her neck, and I'm going to continue to sew in. I like to do my knots every other sew in because this helps, you know, if your track unravels, instead of the whole track unraveling, probably a little part can unravel, you know, because you have knots throughout your sewing instead of just going in and looping. When you go in and loop, it's the same thing as when we did our knot. The only difference is you're not going to go around 3 times. You're just going to take the needle in, take the excess string, and throw it over the needle, and that'll just create a loop instead of a knot. Flipping tracks over can be very hard to get them to lay, you know, how you want them to lay and lay flat. But you just want to always make sure that when you flip it over, you want to start at the very edge and you want to tie a knot right there to keep that very flat and keep it from moving. That is the biggest key to having a flat flip over track when you're doing a sew-in.
I just wanna know if you my friend. I just wanna know if you pretending. I know I've been away.
I'm going to let you guys continue to watch exactly what I'm doing, as it is, you know, a repetitive motion of just sticking, flipping the track over, knotting, and that is how you complete your sew-in. I hope I've helped. If you have any questions on clarification when it comes to this video, please leave a comment down below and I will get back to you.
First touch, get left in the dust. No room to judge. Talking business, slow child. Lips, first touch, get left in the dust. No room to judge. So tonight you should go and take a chance with her. She could be everything you wanted, boy. Don't let
Whoa, whoa, yeah. Sometimes we laugh and sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now, baby. I took a half and she took the whole thing. Slow down, baby. We took a trip, now we on your block, and it's like a ghost town.
I think for me, the hardest part of a sew-in was always closing it. So I'm going to explain closing it. So when you start with your first track to closing it, you're going to sew that underneath, not underneath, but like on the other side of the perimeter braid. I think you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about here. You're going to sew underneath instead of on top of the perimeter braid, the closing braid. Here's a better view on what I mean when I say on top. Not on top, on the side of the closing braid instead of on top. You see how it's next to instead of on top of the closing braid. That's what you want.
Just to say how much what you mean to me. What would you do if I told you you were beautiful? Would you take
It's so
me
flat
on
and
a
clean.
regular
And then you're gonna take your last track and you're going to sew that on the other side of the closing braid.
This ring here represents my heart, but there's just one thing I need from you. Say I do, because I can see us holding hands, walking on the beach, our toes in the sand.
Also, when you're closing your weaving sewing, you want to make sure to be very mindful of tension. You don't want too much tension to the point that your client is starting to get hair bumps or any of that type of thing. So you want to make sure that you're asking your client like the comfortability level, and you know, you don't have to tie these so crazy tight to the point where it's pulling and causing, you know, tension, alopecia, and all of the good things. So just make sure that you're being very mindful of the client when you're doing this part. This is the finished after we sewed in. It's very flat, it's very cute. This is the finished product. Again, if you like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're on the road to 12K. Follow me on Instagram at Crown by Lons. Follow my main page at I Am Alonza. Until next time, mwah.
This ring here represents my heart, and everything that you've been waiting for. Just say I